everybody, my name is Skills and welcome back to the channel. Today, another episode of Nerd Cave News. What did you expect? This is Saturday. Here we are, enjoying our early morning tech news. Let's get started, because you know why? Tech companies are falling. It's delightful. I'm excited for it. And let's go ahead and start with budget cuts at Google. Now, this isn't as hardcore budget cuts as you're thinking. I mean, rip Stadia. But other than that, I think the big thing to know here is the fact that they're essentially just making a bunch of different divisions that they have at Google a little bit smaller and dumping a lot of that hardware into very Google-specific techs, making Google Assistant better on their platform, investing harder in Pixel hardware, and at the end of the day, just cutting ties with people like Apple and not giving as much help to their partners in Samsung. Because at the end of the day, if you got to keep a company afloat, it's got to be the one you work for, right? Got to fight for oneself. But budget cuts are becoming a big thing in the tech industry and a main topic of most of today's news. But at the end of the day, I think Google reallocating its assets for more of its specific hardware, especially with all of its new launches in smartwatches and tablets and phones, Google needs to start focusing way more on its hardware than making everybody else's software experience with their platform better and potentially just worrying about, their own customers. Interesting to see how the economy is evolving and how tech companies are kind of following suit as best they can. Now, the next thing, it's a wee bit spicy, but it's not spicy in the way that you think it is. It's more of like a mild chicken wing than it is like blazing. Is that what Buffalo Wild Wings calls it now? It's not a blazing sauce. It's more of a mild, buffalo sauce. But anyway, TikTok is introducing adults-only content for their platform, mostly surrounding their live stream platforms, as they did release a bunch of features for their live streaming platform, and just essentially made it so that people who are over the age of 18 can make it so that their content is 18 plus, and so it keeps kids from, interacting with content that isn't necessarily for them. I think this is a good step in that direction. They're also raising the live streaming age, being what people can live stream on their platform, from age 16 with 1,000 followers to age 18 with 1,000 followers, which I think is a solid start in the right direction. I think a lot of community guidelines are obviously being updated for an early platform like TikTok. TikTok is obviously catching up with the YouTubes, the Facebooks, and all the rest of them in the world. So they're getting there, and they're adding new features to keep kids safer, which compared to last week, I think is a phenomenal grace of news. Obviously, this doesn't mean that there's going to be the spicy woo content on the platform. It just means that there's going to be better moderation for their live streams and for general content creation for 18 plus content. Now, this next topic I'm conflicted on, and maybe let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below as we're talking about it. But the gist of it is Netflix subscribers went back up, and their share price also went back up after they introduced their ad-inclusive program for different membership options on the platform. I don't know how I feel about this, mostly because it's adding ads into a platform, and it showed positive growth for Netflix, and so now they're going to associate advertising with positive growth and continue to push things like that in their basic package. How quickly are we going to see advertising seep into even different forms of the memberships that Netflix offers? Now, right now, it's only a few ads per hour. The question a lot of people are asking is, how are you going to split that up with content? Like, if you're watching a 2.5 hour movie, how are you going to have ads within that? Is it going to be a little pop-up on screen? How's it going to interact with a smart TV? How's it going to go with mobile, desktop? Are ad blockers going to be able to block it on desktop because you can't do it on a smart TV or a mobile app? All of these questions are kind of popping up as Netflix is, going through its first time ever having advertising on its platform. But at the end of the day, they're seeing it as a net positive in cash flow, and I can't imagine that we are going to see less ads in the future. It bothers me, but let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And this final topic is the doomsday scenario for all of the tech companies in the world, and how it spells disaster for the tech industry and a lot of people's jobs. Honestly, it's kind of sad. Microsoft is laying off a bunch of employees, and it's not really that funny because the tech industry is getting hit by this economic recession really, really hard. It's not just Microsoft. This article talks about Meta and Google and Apple and Intel. laying off all of their employees, and not all of them, but a lot of their employees, and cutting costs in certain divisions and trying to find as many places to trim as they can, because every one of us in the economic recession is tightening the belt, trying to find ways to save money. And tech purchases, especially with increasing prices after the pandemic, are not something that we can afford to pay for anymore. I'm still running an RX 590 in my computer because I can't afford even how small a GT or RTX fucking 3060 Ti is. Like, I can't even afford that anymore, let alone a 4090. Like, the tech industry as a whole is obviously having to tighten the belt because economic recession is hard. It is unfortunate that people are the way that these corporations continue to see ways to cut costs instead of other places of error. Payroll is definitely one of the biggest things that taxes a corporation, but for a lot of these corporations, some of them being trillion-dollar organizations, it just seems wrong to cut people out when you could devalue your company a little bit to ride out the economic wave. It's always sucky to see people lose their jobs because somebody is trying to boost a profit margin instead of just running even for a year. Let me know what you think about economic struggles in the comments section down below. I can only imagine it's going to be a wonderful experience down there. That is going to be it for this episode of Nerdcase News. If you liked what we guys talked about, and honestly, I don't know that you liked what we talked about, but you maybe found interesting what we talked about today, let me know in the comment section down below. Go ahead and give this video a like. Subscribe if you want to see more of the content that I'm making. And if you don't, want to have a cesspool of a conversation in the comment section, the Discord is also available for you there as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Nerd Cave News, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.